In this chapter, we're going to be taking a look at how new media technologies have impacted the ways that we communicate with one another and the relationships that we maintain. So first, let's talk about these new media technologies and the differences between old and new media. So the transition over the last 20 years or so from old media to new media marks a significant change in how we use technology to communicate. When we talk about old media, we're talking about things like print, radio, TV, and movies. Whereas when we talk about new media, we're talking about media that are much more personal and much more social than old media. And the interesting thing about old media versus new media, especially when it comes to new media, is that new media simultaneously separates us and connects us. And we're going to be exploring this a little bit more in depth later on in this chapter. But let's talk a little bit more about personal media, a part of new media. Personal media gives users the ability to choose the content that we are exposed to. Basically, this new media, this personal media, gives us the ability to interact with the media in new and exciting ways that old media just didn't give us. So, for example, we can generate our own content. We can comment on and link to other content. We can share that content with others. We can create these personalized media environments for ourselves. So, with personal media, we can essentially decide what we see. An example of this is actually your ebook library, right? You get to decide what content you see in that library. And sometimes items are recommended to you and you get to decide whether you want to interact with that or not. But personal media really gives us this heightened level of personalization that we just didn't get with old media. Now, another form of new media technology is social media. And social media is a little bit more broad than you probably thought when you first heard me say the term social media. You probably only thought of social networking sites like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. But social media really can be defined to include lots of different types of digital media, including those social networking sites, but also including things like email and text messaging. It's basically any electronic media that connects us. And online media in particular is characterized by connectivity. Social media allows mass media outlets to be able to connect to people. It allows people to be able to connect back to those mass media outlets. And of course, it allows people to connect with other people. And social media doesn't just allow for connection. It also allows for us to have more control over the quality and the degree of the connection that we maintain with others. So we have a lot more autonomy when it comes to social media. Now, more specifically, social networking sites do a lot of these sorts of things, right? They increase our connectivity. So social networking sites allow us to create public or semi-public profiles. And these social networking sites, of course, include things like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and so many others. I could go on and on listing all of these different social networking sites. And the interesting thing about these social networking sites is that they give us the ability to self-publish information. We get to decide what we are putting out there. And in addition, it gives us the ability to like and dislike things. It gives us the ability to post status updates, to create profiles, to post links. And ultimately, it just allows us to craft our own life narrative and share it with other people. Now, in addition, social networking sites give us the ability to sustain strong, moderate, and weak ties with others, and they are used in this way on a daily basis. The way that we interact with these social networking sites and the way that we interact with each other using these social networking sites, we get to decide how that happens, right? So for example, we could sustain really strong ties with somebody using social networking sites. You might, for example, message someone every single day using Facebook Messenger. We could also, of course, sustain more moderate ties with others. So maybe we're not exchanging messages every single day, but maybe we are liking and commenting on each other's Instagram pictures every once in a while. And similarly, we can maintain weak ties with others. So we're kind of going down the ladder here, right? If we are maintaining those weak ties with others, we're friends with them on Facebook and we might see their posts every once in a while. We might wish them a happy birthday once a year on their Facebook page, but that's pretty much the extent of the connection that we have. And we ultimately get to choose the strength of the tie that we are maintaining with others using these social networking sites. And so that's the interesting thing about these new media technologies. As you can see, these new media technologies have had a significant impact on the way that we both build and maintain our relationships.